I'm going to give it a few seconds, make sure everything is working good. Believe so? Okay. Hello, my name is Dynamite. I am doing basically a test run of a new uh, gameplay tabletop setup that I've got. Oh, and I just thought that a good way to start would be just by playing some Lorcana by myself. So what I have here is the Illumineer's Quest, uh, Ursula's Return thing that came out last year. And I bought myself and my family members this for Christmas. And basically, if you don't know what this is, if you haven't played Lorcana before, it's Disney's, effectively their version of Magic the Gathering. Oh, so it's like got a little playmat with it. Okay. But yeah, it's like a trading card game. You build decks, and all the cards are themed after Disney characters. So I'll just show a couple. I've been playing this for a while. Ooh, look, it's the fancy Rapunzel from the challenge event. I've been playing this for a while because I like Disney, and I've been playing card games for going on a decade at this point. Well, technically longer than that, but like seriously playing card games for going on about a decade. Mostly Magic the Gathering. I've dabbled in Digimon. I recently bought a starter deck for One Piece, but I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that, but we'll see. And then years before that, I was collecting Pokemon cards. So, I like card games. I like Disney. And so when Disney came out with a card game, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And so far, I'd say the game's pretty good. You know, it's got issues, but it's not bad. Well, anyway, they came out with this kit that allows you to play it basically by yourself. So normally in card games, it's two players, and traditionally with Lorcana, you do play it with me here and you with a deck there, and then we play against each other. And also you can do multiple people. It's kind of designed from the get go with multiple players involved. But what I want to do is I would like to test this Illumineer's Quest. So basically, this takes this two-player game and makes it one player, or makes it so you can play it with one player. So I'm just going to read through this info material here. With Illumineer's Quest, Deep Trouble. With unprecedented power, and Ursula Glimmer has unleashed her wrath across the realm of Lorcana. It's up to you and your fellow Lumineers to band together and defeat the Sea Witch once and for all. That won't be easy, as she has entangled many familiar Glimmers who are waiting to face you and your friends in an exciting cooperative experience. Will you be able to stop Ursula from taking over the Great Illuminary before it's too late? And then it looks like it's an instruction manual. Objective: working together, the players race for sufficient lore to stop Ursula from cementing. Drop some dye on the ground. From cementing her rule on Lorcana. If she reaches level 40, or if she reaches 40 lore before each of the players has 20 lore at the same time, the Great Illuminary and all of its secrets will be hers. So in Lorcana, the way it works, if you play Magic the Gathering, the idea is you start with, in standard 60-card constructed decks, you start with 20 life, and if you can get that person by attacking them down from 20 life to 0, then they lose, you win the game. And vice versa, if you get your opponent down to 20 from 20 to 0, they lose the game as well. There's also other ways to win games. There's alternative win cons, but generally the idea is you want to either mill out your opponent's entire deck so they run out of cards, or you get them from 20 to 0. In Lorcana, it goes the opposite way. You start with 0 lore, and you go up to 20. When you hit 20 lore, you have won the game. And the way that you gain lore, I'm gonna go ahead and get a die count or a life counter out, is by using the effects. Let me just grab a character card. Cool. So Tiana here has, see this little symbol? That's your questing ability. So she can quest for 2 lore, and you quest by just saying, I quest with this character, and tapping her sideways, and then you add that to your lore total. There's other ways to gain lore in some of these decks. There's effects that'll be like, if such and such thing happens, gain a lore, yada yada. The deck I have here is a Amber Steel. I call it Sing-Along. It's a variation on a deck archetype called Steel Song, because it uses the steel color type, which has a bunch of very powerful song effects in it, and it's based around action cards called songs, which your characters can tap, or well, I'm just going to say tap because I play a lot of Magic, can tap to sing the song instead of having to use your resource pool, your ink, which is this game's equivalent of lands to Magic. So you tap your ink and then you use that to play a spell or to play a card. In this one, it is you can tap the character and they can sing the song in place of having to use your resources. So it just kind of gives you a little more utility. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to play the starter or like the intro version of this with my Steel Song deck and see how I do. Setup. Based on the number of players facing Ursula, 1 in this case, place her drawer counter on her playmat as indicated below. The first time Ursula reaches the listed lore total, move her drawer counter to 1, up 1 to show that she'll draw an extra card from that point on. Oh boy. She'll gain each bonus only once, and keeps it even if her lore falls below the listed total. I'm going to attempt to play all of this on one single player playmat. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'm going to try to, because even though it is a one-player game and I have one deck, she also has her own deck of very, very unfun cards. The cards in this deck actually cannot be used in the regular game. They are exclusive to her play, to this format. So I'm going to take this and put this here, cover up my username to cover that up. This is, I guess, sort of a reward pack. So if I can beat her, I'm allowed to open this. And this is... Oh, this is the quick start rules for learning how to play Lorcana. I don't need this. I played this game a lot. And then I also have, as you see, the instruction manual and a big old artwork card for Ursula herself. So, all right. Based on the number of counters. Oh yeah, and this was the one where they showed... Here we go. Hand, scenario, deck, discard. I might need to push my computer back a bit to make space for this. I'm going to see if I can get this all on camera. First time doing a video. Not perfect setup by any means. Okay. Her deck, her scenario deck, is going to go here. And her discard is going to be over there. Let me get my webcam. See if I can get that around my webcam cable. Her hand will be there. Ursula herself sits here. And her inkwell, which is her resource pool, is going to go there. And then all of her cards are going to go in this play area. So they kind of already pre-built it so that you know where stuff. And then, of course, this area down here is going to be where I put everything. So I'm going to put my deck... I like to use my deck in these boulder deck cases, and because you can separate them and use them as a deck holder and in a discard pile respectively. And also, one more thing I need to do, because it said that you track her lore, is this is going to be my lore counter, which is a spin down or a spin up from Magic. She is going to get her own, which I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. Probably not well, because it's quite small. But that is Liliana, an anime Liliana. I got this at a convention a while ago. I'm just going to put this... Oh, I just realized they have what some things do, which is that they have the 0 to 40 written out here, so you can basically just take like a die or something and sort of move it up. I'm going to use that counter because I like that more. Okay. So, not that. Setup. Based on the number of players, first time Ursula reaches the listed lore total, move her draw counter up 1 to show that she'll draw an extra card from that point on. She can gain each bonus only once and keeps it even if her lore falls below the listed total. Players. Ursula will draw 2 cards. At 20 lore, she draws 3. So when she gets above the half, or when she gets to the halfway point, at 20, she draws 3 cards per turn. That's a pretty busted ability, honestly. 2, choose a battleground and place it where everyone can see it. If your battleground has Ursula draw an additional card each turn, be sure to move her draw counter up. These are the battlegrounds. There are 4 of them, and I believe that they have the difficulty listed here. So they have, it's called the Encounter, difficulty easy. Then you have Dark Realm, difficulty normal. The Lair, battleground, difficulty hard, and Infinite Wrath, difficulty extreme. So there's like modes that you can use when you play this. I'm going to choose to do the. I'm gonna put this one out of the way. I'm gonna do the easy one, just because I'm. It's the first time I'm doing this, and I want to get into it. Oh, they have the little draw counter here, so she will draw. I'm gonna put a die here to represent this. She will draw 3 cards. No, she draws 2, and when she gets above 20, she draws 3. Okay, so the encounter. Let's see if I can get this. Ooh, ah, shoot. Super professional like setup here. Super professional. It's my first time testing out this new setup, so, going to be kind of feeling it. Battleground, difficulty easy. Ursula doesn't draw additional cards. Okay. Player abilities. Lore cost gives you the effect. For 1 lore, remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. Not bad. At 2 lore, ready or exert chosen character. So readying means you, in Magic, you would say untap. It was like sideways, you turn it face up, and then exert is when you use it, you tap it, turn it sideways. And then 3, chosen player, me, probably, draws 2 cards. I wonder if they have a mechanic in here, if I could mill this deck out. That would be kind of funny. I don't think that's going to apply, but I wonder if that would be an option. I'm just going to put this up here. Out of view. All right. Choose a battleground, place it where everyone can see it. If your battleground has Ursula drawn in, I already read that. In Ursula's scenario deck, find the Ursula Stolen Trident card and place it face up in her play area. Okay, so I need to find Ursula's Stolen Trident. Somewhere in here. Ursula's Contract, Capsize, Prince Eric. Ursula's Stolen Trident. Okay. Find Ursula's Stolen Trident and place it face up in her play area as the first card in the row. Alright. Then shuffle her deck and place it face down in the marked spot on her playmat. I am doing that now. Okay. I've placed that in her scenario deck. 4, place the lore tracker at 0 on the playmat. I'm going to use this to represent that. This. Actually, you know what? No. Well, does it really matter which one I use? Because you're going to need to see both. I wish I had more of these, but Wizards of the Coast only makes a couple of these every now and then, and I only own one because I'm usually the only person who needs one. I expect my opponent to have their own little thing. But I might get another one if I'm going to keep doing videos kind of like this. Anyway, each player shuffles their deck and draws their cards as normal. Altering hands is allowed, but the Sea Witch doesn't bother. Alright, so the way this works in Lorcana, it's just slightly different than the way they do it in Magic, is in Magic, you draw 7 cards, and then you can choose to do a mulligan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this goes back. A mulligan is where you can look at your hand and you can say, I don't want this 7-cost card because I'm not going to play that for a while. In Magic, what you would have to do is you would have to take this entire hand of cards and put it back into your deck. Ooh, kick my webcam. And you'd have to draw 7 more, and then that's considered your first mulligan. And for every time you mulligan, you have to take a card from your hand and put it back into your deck and shuffle, and then you start at 7. If you take a mulligan, you go to 6. Take a mulligan, you go to 5. In Lorcana, it's different. In Lorcana, the way it works is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only get to mulligan once, but you can mulligan any number of cards from your hand. So let's see what I've got here. I've got Queen Sensor Core, the 4-cost Ariel, Whole New World, not bad, Be Our Guest, Strength of Raging Fire, Gazelle, and Pete. Okay, I know based on the way that my deck works that I'm probably not going to need this Queen Sensor Core. I do want to keep a Whole New World because that is it basically lets me discard my hand and draw 7, but my opponent does the same. So it lets me refresh my hand when I'm about to run out of cards. It's also a song card, so I can sing it. Gazelle has the ability to sing up to 5-cost songs, so I might want to hold on to her. Pete is a special one. He's more of a meta card at the moment. I don't know how many song cards are in this Ursula's Encounter deck. But Pete basically enters and he says that my opponent can't play actions until like for their next turn. So he basically shuts down your opponent's using actions for one turn. I just realized that this glare is so bad, you are probably not going to be able to see most of my cards. I'm figuring that out. All I have right now is my overhead light. Strength of a Raging Fire is not bad. That's a removal spell or a removal card. Be Our Guest isn't bad because it lets me look at the top 4 and get a character. I don't want to hold on to this Ariel because even though she can sing 7, I only have 5-cost songs, up to 5-cost songs in this deck. She's basically just in here as a placeholder until they print a better Amber or Steel Singer 5 character that I want to put in here. Another thing about this deck is that this deck is very princess based. There's a lot of cards in here that trigger based on characters that have the princess archetype. So Ariel would fit that, but based on what I had in my hand, I didn't want that. So I put those 2 cards back. And I just realized I've already messed up because what you're usually supposed to do is immediately draw 2 more to fill your hand back to 7, and then you shuffle. But my house, my rules. So I'm going to shuffle, cut my deck, and then draw 2 more cards. And then this is my mulligan. I cannot do another mulligan. What I get is what I get. I have gotten... so I put a Queen Sensor Core in. I got a Queen Sensor Core back. I also got the big 7-cost Cinderella Stouthearted. That will probably end up as ink because I don't think I'm going to play her anytime soon. All right. So, final thing. So I have my hand. Ursula takes the first turn. She isn't one to sit around on her tentacles. Unlike in the standard game, she draws on her first turn. So normally if you go first, the way it works is you would not draw on your first turn because it's considered unfair for the person who gets the first play to also get card advantage over their opponent. So generally it's first person skips their draw, but they get to go first, and then second player gets to draw. So that's sort of the trade-off, is second player gets more cards in their hand, they get more options of what to play with, but first person gets to the first move. And that does actually, based on the timing of how some decks work, that does change things. All right, she will go first. She will draw 2 cards. She has no ink in her inkwell. She also has a 0-cost, which I can literally just drop for free. So I will. A 0-cost Triton's Daughter, 2/3 quests for 1. So willpower and toughness, which is basically power and toughness. Same thing in Magic. The only difference is that you don't attack directly into your opponent when you do attacks. They don't actually call it attacks. They call it challenges. Yeah, you really cannot see any of these cards on the camera. I'm gonna have to figure out a new lighting setup for this room. I have an LED panel here to my right, but it does not produce nearly enough light to account for what's on here. All right, so it's my power now. Says I can tap this to gain 1 lore, and then that's just a 2/3. Now, a character that just came out cannot immediately tap or exert themselves because the term they use is your ink is still wet. It has to dry. The whole thing of this game is based around like ink as like a theme. But yeah, so basically the same way that you have Summoning Sickness in Magic, I cannot use this card yet to quest. I don't have any more 0-costs. I do have a bunch of these 7-cost cards in hand. There's a 6-cost Evasive Anna. And there's a bunch of 2-costs and a 3-cost. These will probably get played on my next turn, so I'm going to hold on to those. Of these 3... Oh, there's also a Typhoon. Typhoon, return all opposing exerted characters to their player's hands. Oh, gosh. Banish all opposing characters. Oh, goody. She has her own. Be prepared. I just realized. But it's a one-sided Be Prepared at 7. That's terrifying. Confusing Presence. When you play this character, each opposing player loses 2 more. Sorry. Oh, one thing I should note is that when you buy this from the store, it comes with 2 pre-built decks that you can use. I'm choosing to use my deck because I like my deck and I already have it. And also I disassembled the pre-con decks because there was a card in them that I wanted to use in this deck, so I don't actually have them anymore. I'm going to choose to put, when you play this character, each opposing player loses 2 lore. She quests for 2. She's a 6/7. Dang. And Anna has evasive. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with doing one player decks is I know that the better option is to keep this one in her hand, but I could just choose to put it into her inkwell just to screw with the opponent. So I'm going to try to play this as if I'm playing the best option for both. I'm going to put the Minnie Mouse as my ink into the inkwell. I do not have enough ink to play another spell, but I could, because this is an item, it says it's my power now. It says tap this to gain 1 lore. So not only does she draw 2 cards per turn, gets to draw on the first turn, and gets to go first, she also has an item pre-built into her play that just lets her gain 1 lore every turn. I'm starting to get the feeling that this deck is kind of broken, but to be fair, she has to get double the amount of lore that I have to get. So if I get to 20 lore, I win. If she gets to 40, she wins. So she does get a bit of a handicap. I will go second. Because I went second, I will also draw a card. That is another Cinderella Stouthearted. They were back-to-back. Remember I drew these off the top? These were back-to-back. That's going into my ink. Unfortunately, I also have no turn 1 play and no 0 cost cards to play. In fact, I don't even know if the base game has 0 cost cards. I think that might be just an Ursula thing. So anyway, Ursula will take her turn. This is going to be my hand over here. I don't want to mistake it for my inkwell. She will draw 2 cards. Lightning Storm. Each opposing player loses 3 lore and 2 cost Mad Hatter. It's a 3/5 quest for 1. The stats on some of these things are insane. I'm going to choose to put Lightning Storm into the inkwell. Then I'm going to tap 2 ink. Oh, by the way, if a card has this little symbol, the little gold symbol, that means it can be used as ink. Whereas if let me find A Whole New World. See how it has just like a straight, I don't know, what was that? Not hexagon. Not an octagon. I think it might be a hexagon. Anyway, if it has that shape without the gold lining, it means it cannot be inked. Normally, there are cards that let you use uninkable cards as inkable cards. That's just one of the ways they balance card types in this game. I have 2 lore, so I can do any of these 4 cards right now. I could do the Mad Hatter that I just drew. I have another Mad Hatter in hand. Lash Out, which is each opposing player chooses and banishes one of their characters. I don't have anything on the board, so there's no reason to play that. And then I have a Gaston. Positively Primeval. When you play this character, deal 4 damage to opposing character with the lowest cost. Based on that, these 2 would have effects that would be not useful. So I'm just going to dump the Mad Hatter. I'm going to play the Mad Hatter onto the field. Oh, also, there's no maximum hand size in this game, so you don't have to like discard down to 7 at the end of your turn like you do in Magic. I know I'm relating things to Magic a lot, but that's just because that's the game I learned card gaming on the most. And to be fair, pretty much every American card game in some way usually has a mechanical connection to Magic because it's like the first big one. So a lot of this stuff, like tapping and untapping stuff, that came from Magic. All right, and then I'm also going to, so I quested with the Triton's Daughters, and I also quested with tap the Triton to gain a lore, so she is up to 3. I will then draw my card for turn, because she can't do anything. Okay, I drew an Ariel. I need to get something on this board, and I need to get some on this board fast. Now, unfortunately, my lowest cost character is 3. I don't think I'm going to need this Pete, so I'm going to put Pete into the inkwell. I'm going to choose, I need to start gaining lore at a rapid rate, so I'm going to put down a Queen Sensor Core. My other option was to play Be Our Guest, look at the top 4, get a character from it into my hand. The only issue is that I'm out of ink, so I wouldn't even be able to play the character that I would get. So that's kind of a wasted. Now, this has a fun effect that at the beginning of my turn, if I have a princess character, I automatically just gain a lore. So that will help me speed things up a little bit. It also has an activated ability, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right. So her ink untaps. She draws 2 cards into her hand, and all her stuff untaps too. at the start of your turn, or they call it ready up, but it's the same thing as untapping in Magic. All right. She drew Ursula's Contract and another Typhoon. Dang. So she's got 2 Typhoons. Return all opposing characters to their players' hands, and she is just a few turns away from being able to use that. That is annoying. Now the good thing, maybe I should have held on to Pete. This is another problem with playing 1v1 games is normally when you play you don't have knowledge of what your opponent has in hand, but I do. Maybe I should have kept that Pete, because the Pete would have been good for at least for the like if I play this on my turn 4, when she goes to her turn 5, I could have at least prevented the Typhoons, but whatever. So I can do up to a 3-cost thing this turn. Also, I drew an Ursula's Contract item, so I'll go ahead. That's a 0 cost. I'll play that for free. Item says sweeten the deal. Opposing players can't use Battleground abilities. Oh, I forgot that I have Battleground abilities. Oh, well, I guess they don't matter now. I couldn't have used them anyway. I guess I could have used one on my first turn, but I forgot about it. Minor stipulation. At the start of your turn, banish this item to gain 3 lore. Huh, okay. At the start of your turn, banish this item to gain 3 lore. So on my next turn, I can just pump her up by 3. She is going really fast. I'm going to choose... I have this Hexwell Crown, which says tap it. It's an item. I can tap it to draw a card. Items don't abide by the ink restriction, or the what we call in Magic summoning sickness, which is basically if you play a creature, or in this game a character, they can't tap. The thing I said where they can't tap. Items don't abide by that. Items you can use if they have a tap ability, you use it the moment that they come out. I already established that the Gaston and the Lash Out are not needed because I don't have any opposing characters. So first thing I need to do is put something into the Inkwell to keep her on curve. I'm going to put one of those Typhons into the Inkwell. Is every card in this deck inkable? My God. They really did, bust. They really made this, I can see how when you get to the higher powers, when you give her extra abilities, this becomes stupid hard to fight. I'm going to play another Mad Hatter. He will not be able to quest for this turn. That is all of her ink used up. In order, I'm going to go up by 1. So she goes to 4, not 5. 4. Ursula's Contract I can't use. Typhon's Daughter I can quest with. And Mad Hatter I can quest with. So she will go up to 6. And then her turn will be over. I will untap mine. I go to my turn 3. Okay, I got another Be Our Guest. I don't think that's going to be as useful, so I'm going to put that Be Our Guest into our ink. For this turn, my main thing is going to be getting something that can sing big songs out. So I'm going to play a Gazelle. Now, the good thing about this is that Gazelle gives me access on my next turn to singing A Whole New World, or if I choose, I could sing Strength or Raging Fire. The problem with that is that Strength will deal 1 damage to chosen opposing character equal to the number of characters I have, and because I have 1, it's kind of a lost effect. So I may just end up inking that later. Still have the Cinderella I can't use. The Ariel's not bad, but I don't think she's going to be useful at this point, so the only thing I can do is play Gazelle. Unfortunately, Gazelle is not a princess, so she will not trigger the Queen Censor Core, so that effect is over. My turn is over because she came in. She cannot quest, so I can't do anything. Untap the Mad Hatter. Untap Triton's Daughter. Untap Ursula's. So start of turn, I'm banish this item to gain 3 lore. I am going to banish the Ursula's Contract to immediately go up to 9. She's almost a quarter of the way through her ink. I'm going to then draw 2 cards for her. Jafar, 9/9, and it quests for 3. And then I have Magica Dispel. It's a 4/4, quest for 2, cost 3. That's not bad. Oh, I was about to say, where did her Inkwell go? Her Inkwell's right there. How did it get down there? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to ink that Jafar because that's a ways out from being able to be played. I can now do up to 4 cost. Fortunately, she doesn't have any 4 cost in her hand. She does have a 5 cost, which I told you about, the Typhoon. Return all opposing characters to their players' hands. That would set me back quite a bit. Magic of the Spell is a 4-cost quest for 2. Do I want to just... So when you play this character, deal 4 damage to the opposing character with the lowest cost. Oh, that's stupid. That's crazy. Oh, no. I could just screw over my deck by playing Gaston and just having it deal 4 damage, which she only has 3 toughness on her. That would auto-kill her. And by default, it has to hit her. She's the only thing. I could just be nice to myself and play this Magic of the Spell. I think that's what I'm going to do. I know this is a 1-player game, but it would be so funny to hand off this effect to another player and just have them play as Ursula. That would be kind of cool. All right, so that's only going to cost 3, but because I don't have a 4-cost, or I don't have a 1-cost spell in that hand, I can't use my remaining ink, but I did ink for turn. All right, so left to right, it's going to be go to 10 off of Ursula's Trident. She's like a very extreme aggro deck. Triton's Daughter is going to go up by 1, so that's 11. Mad Hatter goes up by 1, and Mad Hatter goes up by 1, so she'll go to 13 for this turn. She's at 13 lore, and her turn is done. This is my ink. I was about to draw my inkwell. It's downside of playing with a playmat that doesn't have any zones on it is you forget where you put things. I drew, and then along came Zeus. That's fantastic because I can use that to blow up either the Mad Hatter or the Magic of the Spell to kind of slow her down a little bit. Now here's where the metagaming side of things kind of comes into play. I know that there is a Typhoon in that hand, and most likely if I was playing this at optimal speed, my opponent would use that Typhoon on their next turn. I don't have Pete to prevent it from being done. So what I need to focus on doing is destroying as much of her board this turn as possible. To that end, Strength of a Raging Fire is probably not a good card because it's only equal the number of stuff in hand. I will put that down here. Now this gives me some fun options. What I can do now is I can sing A Whole New World off of Gazelle to refill my hand, but I can also hard cast for 4 the Zeus to deal 5 damage to something on her board. Even though the 2 5 toughness characters that she has are the Mad Hatters, I want to shoot this Magic of the Spell because it quests for 2, and the Mad Hatters only quest for 1. So I remove more lore from her board by shooting Magic of the Spell, even though it's in excess 1 ink. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start by by hard playing, and then along King Zeus. I could have sung it with Gazelle, but I can't sing both songs with Gazelle. She can only sing 1. So that will deal 5 damage to Magic of the Spell, taking her off the board. Another thing I could do if I wanted is that because her characters are exerted and I have a character that can challenge, I can choose to challenge into one of these characters, and then they compare power and willpower, or power and toughness if you prefer, of each character, and depending on if my power exceeds their willpower, they will be banished, they will be defeated and taken off the board, and vice versa. They hit me back. And also, damage sticks around between rounds of combat in this game. So you usually represent damage with like a die on a character or something like that. And so like if I can take up to 3 before I die, I could hit this Triton's Daughter, and then I would deal 2 to her, she would deal 2 to Gazelle, but we wouldn't take each other out, and I would just waste a turn doing that, so there's no point. So instead, I'm going to have her tap to sing A Whole New World. A Whole New World is the one I was telling you about, where you discard your hand and you draw 7. So I also know, what's funny is that also means that she is going to discard her hand. Hey, getting rid of that Typhoon. All right, so I get rid of Be Our Guest, Cinderella, and Ariel. And I draw a brand new hand of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, Sonic Aerial, the 4-cost Aerial. Grab your swords is very good. A Rapunzel, another Gazelle, and this Cinderella. I wish I could drop this Cinderella right now, but I'm out of ink for the turn. So that is my hand. My opponent also gets to draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Triton's Daughters, 2 more Ursula contracts, a Shark, which is a 5-cost, another Triton's Daughter, Bruno Madrigal for 2, Dark Prophecy. When you play this character, each opposing player puts the top 3 cards of their deck into their discard. So she might mill me out. Oh, shoot, I just realized. Each opposing player discards a card, then puts this card. Then put this card into your Inkwell face down. Yeah, these are busted. Like, 4 of these cards I just drew are 0 cost. She could just drop these for no cost on her turn. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, my turn's over. Ursula's Stolen Trident, Triton's Daughter, 2 Mad Hatters, and then she gets to draw 2 cards at the start of her turn. Her Inkwell is face up. I was really like, man, I hope I don't draw another Typhoon because I will probably use it. She gets 2 Tamatoas, which is a 3/6 quest for 2. Pick one. When you play this character, the opposing players together choose an item or location of theirs and they banish it. Sure. You can have my Queen Sensor Core. It hasn't really done anything for me up to now. Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. Play another Triton's Daughter, play another Triton's Daughter, and then play 2 copies of Ursula's Contract for free. Oh my gosh. Alright, so these Mad Hatters can both quest because they've been out. Only one of the Triton's Daughters can quest. And I can still put something into my Inkwell for turn. I have a couple options here. I'm going to put one of these 2 Tamatoas into the Inkwell face down. Just because usually having duplicates of a good card isn't... I mean, unless if it's like something you really know you're going to want to use. I can do the Shark. I can literally play anything in this hand. I can use both of these right now to force my opponent to mill the top 3 cards of their deck and also to make them discard a card. And then I get to ramp with this. But it says you put it into your Inkwell face down. You know what's stupid about that? It doesn't say exerted. You use this and it replaces one of the ink you put into it. It ramps you by 1, and you can... Oh, my God. I can do this, and then I can still play the Shark. All right, that's what I'm doing. It costs 2... No, I can do this, and then I can play Tamatoa. I can't use the Shark, because the Shark would be 5. All right. Oh, but I haven't inked for turn. That's what I was thinking. I was like, hold on, the math doesn't work out. Wait. Yes, I have. I've inked for turn. I put the other one down. Oh my god. Alright. Pay 2. I'm going to play Entangling Magic. Each opposing player discards a card. And then I put this into the Inkwell face down. Not exerted. Okay. I have to discard a card in my hand. As much as I hate to admit it, the most likely least usable option... Actually, in this situation, it might not be bad to keep that Rapunzel. The Sonic Aerial is good because her ability is that whenever I sing a song, I can pay 2 and then deal 3 damage to something. So she's not bad. However, I don't have anything to shift her onto. So shifting is kind of like... I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to get rid of this Aerial because I don't think she's usable. The small Aerial, not the big one. Shifting is a mechanic in this game where if you have like an Aerial on the battlefield and you want to, and say her cost is 6, instead of paying the 6 cost, I can instead pay the shift cost and put that Aerial from my hand on top of the other Aerial. They have to have the same name. That's the one criteria. And then that becomes the big Aerial. So it's a way to kind of cheat a character out a little bit faster. But I don't think that keeping her in my hand is going to be useful. So anyway, that spell goes into the Inkwell face down. Then I can use something. Then I can use this Tamatoa for 4. Oh, wait, no, not that one. No, I can do... I paid 2. I put 1 back. Yeah, so I have 4. I'm going to pay my remaining 4. This is the hand right here. I'm going to play that Tamatoa. So I still have the Shark and the Bruno Madrigal in hand. Tamatoa. When you play this character, the opposing player chooses an item or location of theirs and banishes it. Goodbye. I am getting wrecked. Oh my god, I'm getting wrecked. Alright, then she'll go to questing. This will go up 14. One of these can quest, so that's 15. The contracts will come into play at the start of next turn, so I'm going to put those over here. And then these 2 will quest. That goes up to 70. She's almost halfway there. I haven't gained a single lore. Oh my god. Oh, hold on. Okay, had my brother come over for a quick sec, so that had to deal with that. Where was I? Tamatoa came out, banished this, quested with all those characters. She's used up all her lore. Past turn. Alright, untap. Draw for turn. Okay. I am going to choose... I have to get her board under control if I want. Oh, well, those will happen on her next turn. Have to get her board under control. The best way I know to do that is to just start blowing up characters on her side. I'm going to ink this Gazelle because I already have one. I'm going to attack. As counterproductive as it seems, I have a couple options here. I could have her sing Grab Your Sword to deal 2 damage to all opposing characters, which won't take anything off her board, but it will make it easier for me to finish her off next turn. I then have 2 2-cost songs and a 2 2-cost characters and an item. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Gazelle's going to sing Grab Your Sword, so that deals 2 damage to all characters on her side. This is going to be chaos. So this gets 2. This gets 2. I might run out of die. This gets 2. This gets 2. And this gets 2. And this gets 2. All right. And then I will play Ursula for 2. Not that Ursula, like when she's in her human form, Ursula. Singer 4, 1/4, quest for 1, and then I will play a Cinderella, Singer 3, 1/2, Princess. It would be nice to still have the thing, but you know, Tamatoa blew that up. And then finally I'm going to play Hardcast Bare Necessities. Chosen opponent reveals their hand, and then I choose a non-character card from that hand and make them discard it. Ironically, she already used most of her non-character cards. And I just realized that was a waste because I forgot that she has just 2 characters in her hand. She has the Shark and Bruno. So that fizzles completely. Wow. I am getting... This is the easy mode. How the hell is this the easy mode? My God. My God. Are you supposed to play this with 2 people? Is that why I'm getting destroyed? Are you supposed to play this with two people instead of 1? Well, I'm trying it with 1. All right. That's my turn. Untap. She draws 2 because she's not over 20 yet. Tentacle Swipe. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character, then put this card in your equal face down. Oh, so she has her own version of Grab Your Swords that also replaces itself as ink. Okay. Choppy Waters. Deal 2 damage to the highest cost character each opposing player has in play. Highest cost in my case would be Gazelle. Oh, goody! Between these 2, if I paid 5, I could just wipe Gazelle off the board and almost kill the Cinderella too. I'm noticing there's no song cards in her deck, or at least I haven't seen one yet. Deal 1 damage to each opponent's character and put this card in your equal face down. Alright, I'm going to start with that. So, 2 damage. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character, then put this card in your inkwell face down. Okay. So that will put 1 damage on... I need more dice, I just realized. Give me a second. I did not realize how dice intensive this game was going to be. So, alright, 1 damage on Ursula, 1 damage onto Gazelle. Oh, this is... Oh yeah, I'm playing her turn. Any of her characters could wipe out Gazelle and basically take... Well, I would lose one of Triton's daughters. I would not lose a Mad Hatter, and I would not lose a Tamatella if they chose to attack into Gazelle. But the easiest way to finish that is to pay 3. How much ink do I have left? First off, that tentacle slime goes to the inkwell. I forgot. So she's got 5 left. God. I could just play Shark. Does Shark have an ETB effect? When you play this character, deal 2 damage to each opposing damaged. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the Shark, and I'm going to deal 2 damage to each opposing damaged character. What the hell? Guess what? That kills Cinderella. That kills Gazelle, and that puts 3 damage onto Ursula. I can't attack into Ursula because she's not exerted, so she's not available for challenge. But my god. Okay. Well, she's going over 20, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I forgot about these contracts. I forgot. I'm just going to do this because, I mean, it doesn't say it's a May ability. You have to do it. So she just automatically goes up by 6 straight out. So I'm going to go to 23. She will go to 23. So that's 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. She goes to 30. Lord. Well, this is going to be a fast game, I can already tell. All right. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know how you can beat this without having a Bree prepared in your deck. The stats on her characters and the abilities are just insanely unfair. All right. Draw for turn. Now here's where... Oh, not 6. That's 3. Here's where things get pretty funny. I have a Rapunzel in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and ink that Ariel. I'm going to pay 4. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I have to do this now. I'm going to pay 4 and play Rapunzel. Rapunzel's ability says when she enters, you remove 1 damage from chosen character, or up to 3, and for every damage you remove, you draw a card. So I get 3 that way. Okay, I drew another Rapunzel. I also drew the same Sonic Ariel I just put away, as well as a copy of Whole New World and Let the Storm Rage On. On her next turn, she will gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She will be 1 away from winning the game if I don't wipe out her board. This character cannot challenge because she just came out. I've already inked for turn. I have no 2 costs in hand, so those last 2 ink are worthless, but that's just what happens. I'm going to have her, because she only has 1 power. I'm going to have her sing Let the Storm Rage On. Deal 2 damage to chosen character, draw a card. The only one that would wipe off the board is to hit one of these Triton's daughters. So then as an effect of the card, I get to draw a card. That's a Pete. That would be so much better if I could use that. Oopsie. If I could use that right now, but I only have 2 ink left. Untap. Oh, not my turn. I was doing my turn. Untap her turn. And question a lot of choices. Oh, wow. All right. Untap her insanely big inkwell. She draws 3 now because she got over 20. She got well over 20. All right. Hercules for 4, which is a bodyguard. Oh, God. Ursula's Sentry. This character enters play exerted. Okay. But the bodyguard ability already says that you can play it straight out exerted. That's weird. Okay. Why would they even bother putting that if it already had bodyguard written on the card? I don't know. That's weird. During the opposing player's turn, they may together pay 3 lore to banish this character. Oh. So you can just pay lore to kill it. Still have the Bruno. Choppy Wires deals 2 damage to the highest cost character, which in this case would be Rapunzel. She has 5 willpower, so that's probably not worth it. Another 1 cost bodyguard in Prince Eric. Jetsam. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. Wow. Okay, so for the first time in the game, nothing in her hand just straight up destroys my board. She has... Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ink. And she can ink 1 more for turn. I'm going to choose to ink... When you play this character, each opponent puts the top 3 cards of their deck. That's probably not worth it anymore. I'm going to get rid of the Bruno Madrigal. This deals the damage to a character. This will deal damage to characters, and then these are bodyguards. I can do 7, right? Hold on. I completely just forgot how much ink she had. Well, because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She has 8 now, not 7. I could do both the bodyguards and the choppy water, which the choppy water won't kill either of what's on this board, but I don't think it matters, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to play choppy waters to start with, so put 2 damage onto Ursula, put 2 damage on Rapunzel, and then I'm going to double play bodyguard characters. This is why I said it was kind of weird the way they worded this. Usually when you play a bodyguard character, you have the option, you just play it exerted, and then your opponents have to and basically the way the bodyguard ability works is before I can challenge any of these other characters, I have to get these off the board first. They are sentries. They are blocking the way. He's a 2/5. That's a 3/7. Literally nothing in my deck kills a 7 willpower character. Nothing in my deck. And that's a 4 cost bodyguard. Now it does have the pay 3 lore to kill it thing. But see that big old 0, 0. I don't know if it's, holy shoot, man. Okay, anyway, quest for 1. I'm not even gonna bother attacking because what's the point? So this one quests for 1. This one quests for 2. Oh yeah, her inkwell is used up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 38. She is 2 lore away from winning. Pass turn. Oh, and by the way, when you quest with bodyguards, that exerts them. That's how you get them ready on the turn after you've played them. So I'm pretty sure that I've just lost this game. I think that the idea is you play this with multiple people. I think. Because this is easy mode and I'm getting destroyed. So this is the part where you go in the comments and type skill issue. Shoot. So here's, all right, I'm going to just show you my hand. Tiana. Tiana's a fun new card because whenever she's exerted, your opponent's characters are reduced by 3 power when they do a challenge, unless if they pay three ink to negate the effect. But it's only while she's exerted. So she basically powers down all your opposing characters or all your opponent's characters until they decide to pay the tax or somehow get rid of her. She's a 1/4, so she survives most steel removal. I say most. She dies to a good bit of it. But red just destroys her because she has 1 power, but that's a whole thing. The Ariel doesn't help me. The Pete would have been funny, but I can't do anything with that. The Rapunzel, I can't sing A Whole New World because it's a 5-cost song and she has singer 4 and Rapunzel's already a 4. I could pay 4, drop the Rapunzel, and then draw 2 cards because these are damaged characters, and maybe get something that could help me. But honestly, this game is already over. I know. I'm gonna ink the Ariel. I'm gonna tap 4 because why not? I'm gonna drop a Rapunzel. I'm gonna heal damage off of Ursula because why not? And then I'm gonna draw 2 cards off the ability. Of course, we would draw. This is the Ariel I wanted to get earlier in the game. I'll just go ahead and show you now because I have 3 remaining. Pay 3, play this Ariel. When she enters the battlefield, I get to look at the top 4 of the deck and put a song into my hand. Wow, I'm going to get Grab Your Sword. That would be fantastic against an aggro deck. But this is a hyper aggro deck. Oh my god. This goes to hand. I can't even sing that because that's also a 5-cost song. I could... So these 2 just came in. I'm going to have her sing Zeus out of spite to shoot... Tamatoa. Tamatoa will take 5 damage. I mean, she'll still win anyway. Rapunzel could... No, she can't. She can't finish off because they have bodyguards. Holy cow, how do you do this? Okay. Yeah, yeah, Zeus resolves. I don't even have the 3 lore to pay to get rid of the Hercules. I quest with Rapunzel to gain 2 lore. To say that I didn't get completely flatlined during this game. But I basically did. I untap her for her turn. And she doesn't have any Ursula contracts that can automatically fire off to gain her a stupid amount of lore. I draw 3 cards to fill her hand up. This is the easy mode. Oh my god. I play Triton's Daughters for free because why not? Capsize. If you have 6 ink or less, put the top 3 cards of your deck into your inkwell face down. If you have 7 or more, each opposing player chooses and banishes one of their characters. No. 5-cost Captain Hook, 7/4 stats, quests for 2. And then the Jetsam I didn't use last turn, which deals 1 damage to each opposing character, which is useless because none of my characters are close to dying. Yeah, I'm just going to finish this off. She's at 38. I killed the Tamatoa. I quest with Hercules. That's 40. Ursula wins. Woo! Okay. Consensus. Holy you know. I'm not going to say it because YouTube doesn't like swearing. But holy you know what. I don't think that this was designed for 1 player. I am realizing that now. They give you the option... They give you the option in the playbook to play this with well, I guess I should hold back on saying that because I literally just played 1 game. I can try this with a couple of my other decks. However, based on what I saw, it's just that her characters have just insanely high stats for the cost. She has removal spells that also fill her inkwell. She just basically does everything by herself with no problem. The only thing I didn't really utilize in this game was the... Where was it? Where did I put it? Was the player effects that you can use. Oh yeah, by the way, in the extreme ability, you get one player effect. But yeah, oh, this is the other one. Yeah, I have determined that this is for multiple players, and I think I will be putting this back on my shelf and reminding myself of such. I may attempt at some point off camera to do this with... What I may do for fun, if I did this again, is I have 3 decks. I have 3 Lorcana decks built up. Oh, shoot. My webcam nearly fell off the desk. I may choose to set up a 3v1 game, and I might get some friends over and have them use their decks, or I might just play it with 3 of my decks as myself. But what I'm going to need for that, and I'm already working on it right now, is I have to get my a webcam or a camera set up that can view the entire table. I'm currently working on getting trying to use my Nikon D3200 as a webcam. We're gonna see if it works. If not, I'm gonna be returning several $100s worth of equipment to Amazon. But you know, I'm gonna try to do that. See if that works out. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Dynamite YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye.